Hey everyone, Danny Medina here from thecompanymarket.com. I wanted to bring this video to you to point out the differences between an LLC, a limited liability corporation, and your standard C and S Corp. So we're going to have a follow-up video later on describing the pros and cons of a C Corp and an S Corp, but we're just going to highlight the pros and cons of an LLC today. So what an LLC is basically a hybrid corporation. It's a combination of a partnership and a corporation. And it was created in the late 90s, and it's a pass-through entity. And what a pass-through entity is a corporation that does not pay tax. But the income generated from the business gets passed through to the members. So then the members have to go ahead and file their taxes for the business. But the business, as if it's not paying taxes, then it avoids the double taxation that most C corporations have. So that's basically what a LLC is in a nutshell. But I'm going to point out some pros and cons for having an LLC, and you just have to do your due diligence to find out what corporate structure is best for you. One of the pros is that an LLC is great for small and medium-sized businesses. It's great for companies that are not looking to get huge and get on the stock exchange or become an IPO. So if you're looking to stay within a certain area, a certain region, even if you're doing national but not necessarily going public, then an LLC is great for you because it's good for small and medium-sized businesses. Now, one of the other pros of having an LLC is partners. If you have partners that are not maybe 100% invested in the business, or you have a silent partner that maybe just put up some money and they're not part of the day-to-day operations, then an LLC will be a wise choice for you to have. And like I mentioned before, since it is a pass-through entity, all the members of the business, of the corporation, are responsible for their own taxes, and the corporation itself is not filing taxes as a whole. So that's another great pro on why to choose an LLC if you have partners, especially if you're going into business with partners that are not you don't know their work ethic, or you're not they're just a silent partner. So an LLC is great for that. Also, another great reason to have an LLC is the taxes. Like I mentioned before, it avoids double taxation as a pass-through entity, and just the members have to pay their own taxes. Unfortunately, there are a couple of states, including New York, that has imposed some sort of franchise tax on limited liability corporations as a privilege for doing business as an LLC. Unfortunately, that kind of like defeats the purpose, and you have to pay the double tax. You have to kind of like look into your state and find out if they are imposing these taxes on an LLC. But the taxes for an LLC, it's much easier as opposed to a C corporation, where you don't have to have like minutes and meetings, and it's a little bit more complex with a C corp. And this is the reason why a lot of people get LLCs, because of the low maintenance for the business. So those are three pros. And the cons for having an LLC is it's bad for raising capital. Most investors are looking for corporations. They feel more comfortable investing in a corporate structure, meaning that the company has board members, they have a certain structure, they have shares, and an investor could purchase shares of the corporation, and they own some sort of percentage, a stake in the business. When an LLC, it's a little bit more difficult, so it's harder to raise capital unless it's from friends and family. So that's a con right there. Another con is bidding on contracts. When you bid on contracts, whether it's federal, city, state, they prefer a corporate structure. And you'll see this a lot, especially with like union jobs and things of that nature, that when you bid on contracts, they prefer to give out contracts to more of a corporate structure as opposed to an LLC. Can LLCs get contracts? Sure, they can, but it's very difficult. So that's another con of choosing an LLC. Now, the third con is basically changing the structure. And if you needed to change from an LLC to a C Corp because you wanted to bid on a contract, you can't do that. It's virtually impossible. It's the same for the tax structure. the first filing of the LLC, that's the tax structure that you're stuck with for the life of that corporation. So it's very difficult. Now, if you had a C Corp and you wanted to convert to something low maintenance, you can convert a C Corp into an LLC, but you can't do that vice versa. So you have to do your due diligence to find out what corporate structure is best for you. What are your long-term goals? What are you planning to do in the future? And then you can choose what corporate structure is best for you. Now, with that being said, we incorporate all types of businesses. So take a look at our website, www.thecompanymmarket.com, or you can give me a call directly at 888-601-1113. We can answer any questions that you have. Feel free to visit our website. We have a FAQ there. And look for us on the next video describing the pros and cons of a C and an S Corp. See you soon.